Hello everyone, welcome to Astrology Chunks. Today I'm revealing some of the worst planetary combinations that can literally ruin your love life. If you are worried about being doomed in love, here's the good news. If you don't have these combinations, you are in kind of safe zone. You are less likely to attract cheaters, abusers, psychopaths, narcissists, or feel unseen in a relationship. I really hope nobody has these in their birth chart. But if you do, your relationships may never be fully peaceful, especially if you are in your prime, when you naturally attract relationships. I've seen this happen all the time, and you can't deny the impact of these combinations. So let's dive in and see which planetary combinations can turn someone's love life into a living hell or a total nightmare. The first one is Sun and Venus conjunction. I've already discussed this in my previous video about the worst planetary combinations. When Sun and Venus are together in your birth chart, you always attract egoistic or narcissistic partners. You or your partner take things way too personally in a relationship. Even small disagreements can become big battles. This combination leads to a lot of ego struggles. One partner have to be submissive to make relationship work out, but the ego still gets hurt. If you have this placement, your ego is likely to be stabbed repeatedly. Maintaining the relationship requires constant ego sacrifices. It's tough one and definitely not easy to withstand lifetime. Next planetary combination is when Venus is harshly aspected by Pluto, and that is Venus square or opposite Pluto. This can attract dangerous, difficult, or obsessive partners. You might encounter stalkers, psychopaths, abusers, or controlling individuals. A Venus Pluto conjunction is also intense but somewhat manageable. It brings big transformation in your life and personality overall through your relationships. But Venus square or opposition to Pluto, these are really harsh. They can traumatize you. You may attract partners with dark pasts, maybe even people involved in criminal activities. Once you are in, it's hard to get out. Your relationships are very likely to make you encounter dark, morbid, and even taboo situations. If you have this in your chart, be very careful about who you get involved with. Things will get messy and dark eventually and sometimes very fast. Venus aspected by Neptune is the third planetary combination that have big potential to ruin someone's love life. This attracts partners who are cheaters, liars, or addicts. You might fantasize about someone who isn't really there for you or who is definitely not the person you think they are. You are likely to get caught up in a false image of them. This combination can also bring one sided love or even love at first sight. Venus Neptune hard aspects like square and opposition are especially risky. A conjunction is less harmful, but even in this case, the person is still very likely to have unrealistic expectations and very high standards in love. On one hand, they are very idealistic about relationships, making them choosy and picky about partners. But once they are in a relationship, it can be equally hard for them to break up if things fall apart. They need to choose partners wisely because if they pick someone while wearing rose colored glasses, they are likely to suffer the most when reality sets in due to their oversensitivity in relationships. But with Venus square or opposite Neptune, you can literally be used, manipulated, or misled by your partner. You should always pay attention to other people who warn you that you are fooling yourself. You should not sacrifice your self respect for your partner who doesn't deserve you and takes you and your love for granted. Another problematic combination is Venus square or opposite Saturn. This can lead to a loveless marriage or a relationship that feels like a business deal. You may end up with someone you shouldn't just to fill a gap in life. It can make you feel unworthy of love and unseen in the relationship. Insecurities, emotional neglect, and loneliness are common here. If you have this planetary combination, self love is crucial for you because nobody will come to make you feel good about yourself until you yourself feel good about you. This is very painful. For a person with this planetary combination, relationships often feel like two mismatched people tied together forcefully. Now, living together out of compulsion. Sometimes your partner may have wanted someone else and you are just there by circumstances. The last one I'll cover today is Venus square or opposite Mars. This isn't as dark as Venus Pluto, but it's very intense. Relationships are extremely passionate but also volatile. Things can escalate in the heat of the moment. Some astrologers say this is divorce prone, not because partners want to separate, but because friction can spiral out of control. If the couple is mismatched, abuse is very possible. But if both partners are compatible, it can be managed. Early in life, though, extremes are likely. This planetary combination also indicates cheating in relationships. It could be from your side or your spouse or a partner. However, this is not intentional cheating. Rather, it points to the actions that occur involuntarily in the heat of the moment. For example, during an emotionally charged situation, the person may cross boundaries without prior intention, later realizing that their actions were a mistake rather than a planned betrayal. So, these are some of the worst planetary combinations for your love life. It's not all of them, but these are very common and crucial to know. If you don't know what planetary aspects you have in your birth chart, go to the link in the description and enter your date and place of birth. The time of birth isn't that important for this reading, so you can enter anytime. You will get your birth chart showing the exact planetary positions and aspects on the day you were born. Hope you enjoyed this video. We will meet again in the next one.